All right then.
I can't be stupid.
Let's go.
Terribly sorry. Putting some elixirs away. Be with you in a moment. Hello. How can I help you? Juna!
Long time no see. Sorry for all of us storming the place.
And you're the one who was at the
Right. Now that you all know each other's names, Rella is my older sister. Adopted sister, that is. Her family took me in. Though don't spread it around. The public doesn't know, and we don't know who tried to exploit it.
It's been forever, Juna. I'm so sorry. I really was planning to meet you after the opening ceremony.
I understand. You were attending to Sanctifex Forden until Brylehaven. But that's wonderful. Such deft social climbing even puts Father's efforts to shame, eh?
Oh, social climbing. Glad to make your acquaintance. I am Rella Cygnus. I'm a healer. But somehow, I doubt that's why you're here.
Actually, there's something we'd like you to look at.
Where did you get this?
I know it's asking a lot, but could you share anything you know? Without asking too many questions?
I've seen something like this before. I'd never forget. Objectively speaking, the magic involved is a direct inversion of a healing spell. Popularly known as a curse.
I suppose that stands to reason.
Pardon the late introduction. I am Hulkenberg, a Knight of the Crown. As you may have guessed, that is the formula to the curse that slew His Royal Highness, the Prince.
Hold on.
The death of His Highness was a tragedy, one I would see repaid in full. As His Royal Guard, 'tis my duty to punish.
Then, surely, the man who penned this was Luis.
Look, what happened at the exhibition? We were trying to get closer to Luis. You're a holy woman, so I couldn't ask your forgiveness. But if you could at least...
The Lady Joanna's penitence was sincere. To hear her, I thought it must be so. It was Forden who chose such a terrible punishment. That was what scared me.
Oh, Rella.
But I'm a bit relieved. I heard rumors Luis had swept you off your feet and you'd been hanging on his arm since. I worried for you. I see now I needn't have given it a second thought.
Of course. I am Joannis Cygnus, and my life is...
Yes, your life is your own, I know. Just make sure you're not causing trouble for everyone else. I suppose this is another dramatic and risky gesture? Like when you ran away from home in a frenzy of passion, declaring you'd take the stage or die trying.
No! Well, sort of. Maybe, yes, but... Oh, you didn't have to put it like that.
I've looked over the formula. From what I can tell, this spell's effects are... enduring. As long as the magic's source continues to exist, the effect shall never fade. The trouble is, while most curses simply consume the magic released in the moment's casting, this one is designed to perpetually draw on the magic of the caster.
So as long as Luis lives, it doesn't matter where his victims run and hide. Sounds just like him.
But I'm afraid even if His Highness still lived, I don't think anyone could have broken the curse using this. This formula isn't complete. It's a mere outline, clearly jotted from memory. I couldn't tell you how to lift the curse from this alone.
What?
Then I'm sorry I couldn't be of any help.
No, you've done plenty. Especially since we're the ones who sprang this on you.
Pardon me, young man. May I say... You're a friend of hers, aren't you? Please, keep Juna safe.
Of course. I'll do what I can.
Thank you. She can be reckless sometimes. I'll be here for the foreseeable future. Any friend of Juna is welcome here, so stop by any time you like.
The curse is impossible to break?
Did I miss a funeral? I've never seen you lot so gloomy.
What do we do now?
The only way left is to take down Luis himself.
The impossibility of that is precisely what led us here, Stroll. And now, we are no further than when we started.
Plenty of assassins have come for Luis, but the King's magic works every time. They all died frozen in agony.
Even if we could fight him properly, do we stand a chance? The man's an unparalleled master of both martial and magic arts.
This might be the end.
Still, we have to stop Luis, no matter what. The royal magic's not an absolute shield. It cost Gladel his life. We've just got to maintain the trust we've earned from Luis, and eventually we'll get our chance.
For now, he told us to wait until the race's next task is announced.
Then we'll have to do just that.
I'm pooped from all this brainstorming. I could use a break in the Gauntlet Runner. Well, I must say I'm impressed. You have enough beds to accommodate this many people?
Yes, as much as they grumble about cramped quarters.
Apologies. 'Tis hardly accommodation worthy of a diva. And I confess the ride itself is often jarring.
At the very least, I'll be happy with a bath. You have a room for that, I trust?
Right this way, milady.
Well, no point getting reckless now. Let's think about this some more tomorrow. By the way, what have you been doing all this time, Eurus?
Thinking, mostly. Been having a good old ponder ever since. Always been my dream to fly on wings, you see. Not with any of this magic levitatory. But then in you come with this teleportation. Made me start wondering if there was any ballet point at all to my flight theory, what? A long while back, I did a flight experiment to prove my theory was sound. Failed spectacularly, though. And got myself all crunched up in the process. I was still in bed, midway through my convalescence when they told me I was to be demoted.
I didn't know.
Between us, old boy, my flight theory's complete. Principles are sound and tested. All that's left are the practicals, incorporating it into the Gauntlet Runner. But ever since that accident, I suppose you and the rest of our merry band are risking your very lives for the prince. And here I sit moping, And the way I see it, your teleportation can only take us places we've been. If we want to see new horizons, we'll need to take to the skies. It'll take time, no doubt, but I'll put my very soul into it. No shortcuts. And when I fly, I'll do it my way.
So?
All right, then. All right, then. Oh.
Really?
Sure.
Good night. Oh, good. You're still awake. What's the matter?
Can't sleep?
Well, that is rather the problem. I'm wide awake. Once we're back tomorrow, I'll sneak the formula back into Luis's room. Even if he suspected us, he'd never work out that we got to the capital and showed it to Rella in a single night. You know, I'm a bit surprised. I thought I was fine doing all that infiltration at Luis's, finally having others who know the truth, and having gotten to see my sister. And you personally saved me from danger back there. I'm terribly grateful to... You're lucky, really. I'll have you know I'm rarely this candid. That's the forbidden text you mentioned in Luis's room, is it? I've seen him reading it from time to time. What's it like? Can I read a bit of it? The prevailing culture of the world is one of freedom in all things. No faith, fealty, or philosophy enforces ideology. All are free to create, and all are free to embrace those creations. This culture's influence spreads throughout the world. It is even said that a song of peace was powerful enough. Oh, how inspiring. It's hard to imagine that a single song could be so influential. I wonder what the world would be like if a song really could reach all people's hearts, no matter their status or tribe. We Nydia, we're all liars, you know. Everyone told us we were inherently worthless, just a fact of our birth. So I learned some glamours to make myself at least look valuable. This form, it's all just a fancy disguise, really. A gilded mask for the world to admire. Or not. No, do forgive me. That was all lies, lies, lies. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to reveal yourself entirely, but you should always have the freedom to. If these new powers are to give form to my ideals, I want to create a world where we can appreciate each other's freedom. I'll make sure everyone hears that in my songs, no matter what happens.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Now, prepare to hear the race's next challenge. Let's find out where our fierce competitors are bound. To recap, the 20 candidates with the current highest approval on the King's Rock will be the only ones to proceed. All others will be disqualified. I'd say the results of the exhibition are sure to have spread by now. Let's have a look at the standings, shall we? In first place, the undisputed winner, Bane of sea monsters and savior of the people, and the traitor Luis in second, despite not actually being in the race. But in third, we have the warrior monk captain, Master Guido. Furthermore,
in the end, everyone but Luis is just representing the Sanctus Church.
What's your point? I dare say that's a relief. We'll finally be done with all this chaos. A return to normalcy.
Ha! Normalcy. Funny how it's only the rich who miss how things used to be. But now Count Luis has the people behind him. He'll save the common man.
yes, we're all keeping our ears out for a response from Luis's faction. But we do have one standout who's seen a stunning jump in popularity since the exhibition. The lad responsible for exposing the sins of the Sanctress Joanna. Valiant human slayer. Yes, it's the young Elder.
Right! Wasn't expecting that one. Nameless to famous in a single night. Just like that, he's in the top 20.
Oi, crier man. Where's the windbag? The one what acted all high and mighty over a tiny human head.
Who? Oh, right, that Gladell or something. No sign of him, probably saw the writing on the wall and dropped out.
So it really was all talk then? A disgrace to the Rusum, hiding his inadequacy behind Luis's authority.
But the boy candidate isn't the only one in the spotlight. We've a rising star by the name of Katharina. Some big ideas, that girl. I hear she plans to put a price on every wealthy head if she takes the throne.
And what's wrong with that? If they're sitting on most of the kingdom's money, they can afford to hire a little extra security every day. Let them sweat it out.
Now, here's a surprise. We've got a Mastari candidate still in the running. And my sources say they hail from, well, Verga Island.
A pagan island, eh? But they're filthy barbarians.
The final roundup's actually looking pretty diverse. With... And that's the bell! Thank you for waiting, ladies and gents. It's time to begin the second... First of all, congratulations to the 20 who have won their places on the King's Rock. You are now officially the winners of the first round. Let's give them a hand!
No sign of Luis. Even if he does plan to take over, suppose he's still not eager to play by their rules.
I haven't seen Juna this morning either.
I heard some nobles say she had a job suddenly come up. Better that the audience doesn't see her with us, anyway.
Now, at long last, we are ready to announce their next challenge. This time, the task for the candidates is... recovering and offering a divine relic!
What? A relic?
Don't worry, we're happy to explain everything. You'll not want to forget this, so we've arranged for you to hear it from an unforgettable voice. To tell us more, please welcome to the stage our guide, our songstress, the lovely Lady Juna!
Her sudden obligation revealed, I suppose.
Chosen heroes! Your next destination is Altaberry Heights, the capital of the Principality of Montario. You are to gather there by the deadline, with a divine relic in hand to offer the Sanctus Church. Tragically, there are still heathens in this land who choose to reject Sanctism. They care nothing for salvation. They cling to strange idols, calling them divine relics, believing them gifts from their eldritch gods. But their rituals are unstable, and their relics just It is time we put an end to this misguided witchery. Take these relics from the pagan's grasp and bring them to the birthplace of Sanctism, Altaberry Heights, in Montario. Please deliver them to their rightful place in God's hands. May all our aspiring heroes be blessed with good fortune and the fate.
What a real presence before a crowd, doesn't she? Positively plucks at your heart.
Focus, Iceland, focus.
By the deadline of the second round, Altaberry will begin the festivities for the autumnal Montario Saints' Day. This two-day event kicks off on Saints' Day Eve, with the main celebrations on the day proper. And this year's event will be historic. His Eminence, Sanctifex Forden, will be personally sealing the collection To celebrate, the songstress Juna will be dedicating a ceremonial song. You won't want to miss this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on my mark.
They're unabashedly ordering them to steal relics from pagan land now. That's plunder! They would steal our very culture!
That candidate's a Mustari. Small wonder he's so aghast. Forden's stooping to a new low.
What do you mean?
By and large, the Mustari are a pagan people. Their relics are cultural touchstones, vital to their hearts and faiths. And Forden's just ordered us to loot them as we please.
But in our case, we won't even know what we're doing until Luis gives the order.
Either way, we're bound for Altabury. It's further east. We've a long trip ahead of us.
Oh, my shoulder hurts. I don't care if it's the Crown Theocracy. You'd think they'd ask me a little sooner than the morning of.
Still managed to put on a hell of a show for him. Lady Juna, Count Luis has sent for you. And you lot too, I suppose.
Looks like our first job's come in. These men have me running all over. We're back, Lord Luis.
Funny, isn't it? Since the Gladell incident, you've been inseparable from this gang.
Well, one has to keep one's chauffeur in line, don't you think?
Hey, heard you got a gig at the Sanctus Festival? Good on ya!
Thanks. Though I don't know if it's worth celebrating. Seems to me it's to keep Lord Luis in check. Putting me on stage the whole time might keep you from crashing their Saints' Day party.
And if we try anything, they'll use it as an excuse to blacklist you. Just the kind of shite you'd expect from those Sanctus stooges.
You need fear nothing. It is Forden who now stews in his dread. That he seeks the divine relics is common knowledge. But who would simply give up an idol on par with the god's reverence? He has all but commanded that we take it by force. The king's magic ruined his schemes. You humiliated him in the public eye. And in one desperate final grasp for authority, the fool has placed his fate in my hands. Forden's game will soon end. Let us at least give him the finale he deserves.
What are you planning to do?
What? Do you need to hear it repeated? I will give Forden his death.
And what of the king's magic?
You'll see soon enough. For now, you need only follow my orders. Your task is to obtain a certain divine relic on my behalf. The artifact in question is a lance known as Dracodios.
Dracodios. The Draco implies something to do with dragons, I presume?
Suffice to say, the lore behind this particular relic intrigues me. You will acquire it in time for Saints' Day, and bring it to me.
Pretty high stakes, my lord. You sure you want this crop of novices on the job?
Rest assured, my other agents have their own relics I've assigned them to pursue. I've no urgent need for this lance, nor for them, should they fail.
I'll go along and keep an eye on them, shall I? You can bet that if they try and run off with the relic, I'll put a stop to it.
You certainly are attached to them, aren't you?
Well, it's their first formal assignment in your service, after all. I can be your eyes and ears.
So be it then. You may act accordingly.
So, my lord, where can we find this fancy lance?
Find your clues elsewhere. You have nothing further from me. Prove you think as well as you fight. May we both find success in the pursuit of our shared vision.
All right.
Oi there!
What now?